What's going on, YouTube? So today is January 19th. If you're not into technology, you don't care about anything like tech, computer, software, anything like that, skip over this video. I know I'm not a tech reviewer. I know there's much better people out there to do this and probably more qualified than me. So I know there's plenty of other reviews on YouTube over the new MacBook Pro. But I really just want to answer one question over a couple different topics that pertain more to my life and maybe pertain more to you guys. And that is, if you're buying a new MacBook, should you buy the new MacBook Pro or the older one and save yourself some money? Or if you already have an older MacBook Pro, should you upgrade to the new MacBook Pro? So without further ado, I guess we'll kind of see how this plays out.
As far as specs go, the new MacBook Pro is running a 2.9 gigahertz Intel Core i7 processor, which is the fastest one that Apple offers currently. 16 gigs of memory and the Radeon Pro 460 4 gig graphics card. Just for reference, the older MacBook Pro is a mid-2015 model, 2.5 gigahertz Intel Core i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 2 gigabyte Radeon R9 graphics card.
Right off the bat, I'm kind of assuming that you guys know a little bit about the new MacBook Pro. But if you don't, it's running the new Skylake processor from Intel. It got a touch bar, which is essentially just like an OLED bar at the top that replaces your function keys. So the main controversy that Apple kind of dealt with releasing this machine is that they dropped traditional USB support. Now everything really requires an adapter. So I've been using this computer as my daily driver, if you will, for the last about 2 weeks. Everything from just general web development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, doing some administration, networking things, and then also just my primary editing machine. Final Cut, Premiere, After Effects. I'll get into that in a little bit. But what I wanted to say, like flat out, straight up, don't let the USB-Cs scare you off. A lot of people are just complaining, I don't want to have dongles, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. In all actuality, after 2 weeks of using this thing, there's not been one situation where USB-C has been a problem. I use a Samsung T3 portable SSD drive that's USB-C natively, so I just got an extra cord to go USB-C to USB-C, so it just eliminated the need for the old cord. And then I have a card reader that I use to offload footage onto the computer. Yeah, you can lose the SD card readers. A lot of people are saying they're going to lose these dongles, but I don't travel with my laptop just by itself. Very rarely do I just pick up my laptop and walk out the door. I usually put it in a backpack or a bag. If I keep the dongles in the backpack where I would normally put my charger and stuff anyway, I'm not going to lose them. And I think I don't know how many people are really out there that just grab their laptop and walk out the door and they don't take it in a bag. Most of us use some kind of backpack or a carrying case to transport their laptop around. If that's the case, put the dongles in your backpack and you won't lose them, just like you don't lose your charger. The touch bar is cool. It's not slowing me down at all. It's just every once in a while I accidentally touch it or accidentally brush into it. From a developer aspect, one of the things that really annoys me is that if you're editing in a terminal and you're using Vim or Nano or anything like that, traditionally you need the escape key, but for whatever reason, the touch bar shows an X first and then the escape key. So if you're used to editing and then you just, escape, you end up having to hit twice. And if you're not paying attention, you'll think you hit escape and then you'll try to navigate through the file and all of a sudden you're typing in the file again. So little things like that I think they'll probably get improved. The aspects I really wanted to look at here is software development, programming, coding, really what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, and then also editing videos. Strictly from development aspect, do you need the latest MacBook Pro to do any kind of development? No. Do you need a MacBook Pro at all to do any kind of development? No. 99% of the time, both of these machines, regardless on which one, are way overpowered for what I'm doing. I'm usually editing text files, maybe running 3 or 4 processes in the background, maybe have one virtual machine online, and that's it. You could definitely get away with a MacBook Air. You could probably get away with a base MacBook, but I would say the MacBook Air is kind of the sweet spot. Having said that, a big part of software development is typing. Typing on the new MacBook Pro is a lot nicer than the old MacBook Pro. When I first got it, I hated it. I had the 12-inch MacBook at one point. I absolutely hated the keyboard on that thing. The new MacBook Pro, even though it's similar to that, it feels like the keys have a little bit more travel, and that may just be like placebo effect here. I may just be making that up in my head, but for some reason, I'm enjoying this keyboard a lot. The bigger reason that I have MacBook Pros is for video editing. The new MacBook Pro is marginally faster than the old one. Is it enough of an improvement to justify selling your old MacBook Pro and moving to the new one? That's for you guys to decide. So what I'm gonna do here is take some raw red footage shot at 8K on a red weapon, open it up in a Final Cut Pro X 4K timeline, drop a color correction on it, and then render it out. Identical on both machines.
So after importing the red raw footage, I applied a pretty dramatic color grade to it. And right off the bat, you can tell that the new MacBook Pro is having a lot easier time just playing back the footage in the first place. But the irony is that Final Cut crashes immediately after that. It's actually the first crash that I had seen, and of course it happens during this video. After that, I started the render on both machines, and you'll see real quick the results. So the new MacBook destroys the older MacBook when it comes to rendering these files. I do want to stress, however, that this is major overkill. I really wanted something that was really going to push the processor and the graphics card to 100%. However, I have noticed similar results with footage coming off of my Canon or Sony cameras. So overall, when it comes to video editing and rendering, the new MacBook Pro is definitely faster than the old generation.
The new MacBook Pro is substantially faster at rendering video. However, only in Final Cut Pro X. In the latest version of Adobe Premiere, the new MacBook only beat out the old MacBook by less than 3 seconds. This has a lot to do with Final Cut and the way that it's optimized for the hardware on the new MacBook Pro and even the old one. Same way that iPhones, even though they typically have less processors and less RAM, are faster than a lot of the competitors. Apple builds software directly for a couple machines. So they build their software to kind of squeeze out every ounce performance on all their models, whereas Premiere is more broad. It can be run on many different devices, so it doesn't take advantage of certain aspects of the computer. So between that and the fact that the new MacBook Pro is so new that maybe Adobe just hasn't really optimized it yet, I feel like that's probably why there's not too much of a difference on Adobe Premiere. But in Final Cut, the new MacBook Pro is substantially faster than the old one. So my final closing points on this one: if you're in the market for a new computer, you're doing a lot of 3D rendering and video editing and stuff like that, and you don't necessarily have a computer currently that can handle it, or maybe it's just an old outdated machine, the new MacBook Pro is a great option. It's a little bit pricey, but in the long run I think it's worth it. If you currently own a MacBook Pro and you're looking to upgrade to the new one, I would say unless you just really want the touch bar and stuff, it's not worth it. You're not going to see enough of a difference to really make it make sense. And before all the comments of for $3,500 you could build a Windows machine that'll run laps around that thing. Yeah, you're right. I own one. I know. I buy an Apple computer because I want an engineered quality machine that I can depend on day in, day out. I want the software hardware integration that no one else really has right now. Yes, this machine's faster in every aspect, but surprising enough, that laptop with Final Cut Pro can edit video and render it faster than this machine can. It's just Apple software running on Apple hardware. If you happen to be one of those people that is commenting that, just leave the Apple guys alone. I see that every time I see an Apple review, I see something about a Windows machine. Yeah, we get it. If anyone gets it, it's me, because I love this thing. But from a work aspect, you can't beat the MacBook. I'm sorry. So I hope you guys learned something from this. If you're in the market, maybe looking around, maybe this will help you make a decision. After I use the laptop for the next couple months, I may kind of reiterate in one of my next videos kind of talking about this. But I had a lot of people request, and I really just wanted to talk about how the MacBook is for development and video editing and stuff like that. So again, I hope this video helped you out. Expect another video this weekend, more car related. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.